Hello, my friends. How are you today? I am here to enlighten your day with sunshine and rainbows and all these fantastic things by talking to you about how trucking destroys men. But to be honest with you, this video is all inclusive. That was just a better title than Trucking Destroys People or Trucking Destroys Men and Women. So if you felt left out by the title, don't worry. Here in trucking, we are all inclusive. And women, if you want to be a trucker and get your life absolutely destroyed too, that's a good thing also. Now, to be clear, I am not angry at trucking right now. As a matter of fact, I'm having a really hard time coming up with content because my company's not pissing me off every other day, and that's making my job as a content creator very difficult because you guys know on YouTube, I thrive in the chaos. I need things to go wrong to make a good video and to like fly off the handle, and it's been a real problem for me lately trying to figure out topics to come up with because there's really nothing right now for me to complain about. Winter's coming. Hopefully that will bring up some problems that I can complain about. But other than that, my life's been pretty terrible lately because it's been pretty good, if that makes any sense at all. Does that make sense? I have nothing to bitch about. But a big thank you to the Prime Ink drivers that have been big babies for the last few days that allowed me to get out those last two videos. Appreciate the support. Thank you so much for your help. So yeah, today I'm not talking about being angry at the trucking industry and my life's destroyed, and I'm not even saying that your life will necessarily be destroyed if you come out and be a truck driver, but I'm going to talk about sort of observations I've made since I've been in the trucking industry over the 10-year period that I've done it, and the things you see out here that lead you to believe that maybe this is wreaking havoc on some people's lives out there, if that makes sense. And the reason I want to do this video is because I do think that trucking is actually a good career choice. I know sometimes I get really down on it. I know I just made a video not too long ago that trucking's not a good career choice. Look, it's not for everyone, right? And I'm allowed to flip-flop in my own brain and come up with different things. For what we do as over-the-road truck drivers, we don't make enough money, let's say. We probably don't get paid as well as we should, but at the same time, everything's not really that bad for me right now. That's anecdotal evidence. That doesn't mean the world is good for everyone. For me, it's not the worst thing ever right now. But where was I going with that? I already forgot what the hell I was talking about. So we don't necessarily make enough for what we do, but compared to other job options for maybe somebody that doesn't know a trade or a skill or doesn't have a college education, we make a lot more money than the other job options that we have out there. You see how it's kind of a pain in the ass. And the thing about it is, once you get into trucking, you kind of get stuck in it because you don't really have a lot of other options that are going to provide for your financial needs now that you have because you're a trucker. It's sort of a double-edged sword type of thing if you don't play it smart, if any of that makes sense. So anyways, before we get into that too much more, we'll talk about all that in a minute. I do have some thank yous for the last video, for super thanks on the last video. We got Freddie with $5. Thank you, Freddie, who mentioned that I used the word comprende correctly because I was nervous. You guys know I don't edit, and sometimes shit just comes out of my mouth, right? And I'm like, fuck, I hope I use that word the right way. And thank you, Freddie, for the $5 and confirming that I did use it the right way. It just kind of came out of my mouth. It just happened. Not that it's an offensive word or anything, but I don't know a whole lot of Spanish, so yeah, I could screw that up pretty easily, and it was an embarrassing moment for me. And thank you to Private Pile once again for the $5 on the last video. Private Pile, appreciate your continued support. Curtis had sent $5 three times, so he did three different super thanks for $5 each. Thank you, Curtis. I appreciate that. And Steven, another repeat offender around here. Thank you, Steven, for the $10 on that last video. And thank you to everyone that is helping my humble little channel grow. We're going through kind of a rough time here on YouTube. A lot of people are paying attention to other things, and they don't want to watch a dumb hillbilly talk about trucking on the internet. I get it. It's fine. We'll just kind of work through it and hope we come out the other side doing all right. But thank you guys that are continuing to watch and hang out with me for the time being. We're around 150 subscribers away from that 10,000 subscriber mark. So if you could just help me out, if it's your first time watching one of my videos, or if you forgot to push the button, just push the goddamn button so I can shut the fuck up about it. So let's get into trucking and how it will destroy your life, because this is a definitely different kind of industry, right? If you do over-the-road trucking, you live in this truck basically for your entire life. And like I said, this is just observations I've made over my 10-year period of being a truck driver. Now, I know I get negative on the industry sometimes, but if I were to honestly look back, I've had some very, very hard times, right? I think I finally made a good decision, depending on how you look at it, right? I made a good decision because I'm at a trucking company that keeps me busy. I tend to make money on a weekly basis, which is pretty nice. If you're looking at it earlier, like I said, from a content creator point of view, I fucked up. I really fucked up. And I need to get my ass back over to Swift so I can be mad about stuff and make videos where I'm just yelling at the camera again. You know, the true charm of This Guy Trucks. But what you start to see after you've been in trucking for a long time is just the absolute toll that it takes on not only you, but everyone out here also in trucking. And it's just actually pretty fucking devastating what happens to people when they spend a long time as a trucker. So maybe I'm just telling you as sort of a cautionary tale. Like, if you're gonna come out here, don't do what I did, and don't do what a lot of truckers did, where you make this into your entire life. Because that's what I've done. I mean, I'm married, I have kids, I have a house, I go there sometimes, but for the most part it's just me and this goddamn truck, and that's what we do all the fucking time. Wake up every day, drive the goddamn truck until we're done driving the truck, play some video games, isolate ourselves from the world. I mean, you could do other things, right? You could go do other things, but trucking has changed even since I've been in it. And I don't know if this is for the better or for the worse, but there used to be the thing they refer to as camaraderie, where you would you know, the truck stop bars, the restaurants inside the truck stops that weren't just fast food chains, and guys would go in there after work and they would bullshit with each other, and that still exists to a point. But for the most part, truckers just pull into their spot, close their curtains, lock themselves off from the rest of the world, and just lay in their bunk, maybe doing something on the internet, doing God knows what. Who knows? I know what I do when the curtain closes, and that's none of your damn business, my friends. I'm a lonely, not very attractive man, so I do what I have to do, okay, to survive. That's all I'm fucking saying. I don't know why sometimes my videos have to go down that road, but that's kind of where we go sometimes. But that's one of the major things you see, obviously, is people are just isolated from the rest of the world. They spend all their time by themselves. And I always kind of make the comparison, like, not comparison, but when somebody's being a closed-minded fuck in my comment section, being a complete asshole, that their way of trucking is the only way to do that, I actually believe that is a byproduct of trucking in itself. When you sit in your truck all by yourself, and the only person you have to, like, reinforce or argue with your own points is your fucking self, people tend to develop a very narrow worldview, and that they believe their way is the right way. Now, in trucking, you guys have heard me, if you've been around for a while, bitch about this a number of times, about how truckers yell and scream at you that you ain't trucking the way that they're doing trucking, that therefore they're smarter than you. And every trucker out there has the best trucking job, right? Every trucker out there has it all figured out. And I have a theory for why that is, right? I would never try to convince you that I have the best trucking job. You know, some people want to reach out to me sometimes with where I'm working at now, Trekker, and say, Josh, I want to talk to you about your opinions on Trekker and all that stuff. Look, I put out the videos, and that's my opinions. Those are my opinions on working at Trekker. I don't want to get back and forth on an email chain, not because I'm a dick, but I don't want to try to, like, kiss your ass and sugarcoat it so you'll get me a referral bonus. Look, my opinions are out there. You decide if you want to work here, and then get me that referral bonus if you do want to work here, and that's the way it works. I would never try to convince you that I have the best trucking job in the world, because what I do know about trucking, most of the trucking jobs are all the same. We're talking about over-the-road freight hauling, right? You're going to make about the same amount of money. Nobody's working for an outfit. They call them outfits for some reason. They're making a lot more money than anyone else out there. It's pretty level across the board. You'll see, like, slight differences, but nothing too crazy. But I believe that mindset comes from well, mental illness. We'll get into that here in a little bit, but there's a lot of mental illness in trucking. That was just a joke. I don't believe it comes from mental illness. But what I do believe is that when you've committed your entire life to the truck, you're out there driving and that's all you have, because that is kind of all we have sometimes, right? Just you and that truck. You want to convince yourself that you have made the best decision that you possibly could, and now you're out here fucking, I work for the best goddamn trucking company that exists. I made the best choice in my life that I could have made at this very time, and it's sort of a coping mechanism. I get it. I'm not busting balls. It's sort of a coping mechanism for maybe you didn't make a really good decision. Maybe you could have done things different. And you don't want to think about that, because then instead of focusing on your job, maybe you're on your phone applying at other companies, being a job hopper, right? And that's a lot of where my fucking problem comes from. I have never ever tried to convince myself that I do the opposite of what a lot of truck drivers do, where they convince themselves they have found the best truck driving job in the world. I always tell myself there must be something more out there and I'm missing it and I'm dumb and for some reason I can't figure out what the fuck it is, and then I go and I work for the next company, right? There's two extremes to this. You either have convinced yourself you have the best job in the world, or you convince yourself that there's something better for you out there. And that's fucking it. That's the way that it works, right? And both of those things are coping mechanisms for the life that we have given up, basically, to do this. Now, I'm still young, and I'm telling this to like the younger guys younger than me. It's not the end of the road, right? You can start to do other things. I have a rough plan in my head. I don't know what that plan is yet, but maybe by 45, maybe by 50. 50 is still fairly young, right? Not in trucker years. 50 is like 70 in trucker years. We'll get into more of that here in a minute too. But maybe by 50, 45, 50, somewhere in that range, I just cut the bullshit and I say, okay, that's enough. I've been doing this forever and it's not taking me where I need to be. But if it has taken me where I need to be by then I have to reevaluate, right? It's a fluid situation, let's say. But that's just one of the things where we drive ourselves crazy with we found the best job or there's always a better job out there. Which one are you going to be, right? You're going to be the job hopper, or are you going to be the one screaming at everyone that they're not working at the same place you're working at? Which of those is the lesser of two evils in your opinion? I don't fucking know. Not up to me to decide, but don't scream at me that your job's better than mine, because kind of sick of fucking hearing it, right? Kind of sick of hearing it. But truckers are a weird fucking breed. I don't think they came into trucking as a weird fucking breed. I think it is a byproduct of being truckers. We completely lack fucking social skills. A lot of us, right? Even the guys out there that think that they have really good social skills, from an observer, when you're watching them, they don't have good fucking social skills, right? I told this story once on my channel, but it was fucking funny. I was in a truck stop, one of those, not one of the chains, one of those smaller ones. It was fairly early in the morning, and a trucker in front of me was getting his coffee. Now, the girl working there, she was real cute. She was real cute. Yeah, she looked good. I ain't gonna lie. And he picked up on that also. He thought she was cute also. And he wanted to flirt with her right in front of me. You guys all have seen it, right? Have you ever seen a guy that thinks he has social skills? That thinks he's got I think the youngsters are calling it Riz now. Got a little bit of game, you know, and he's thinking he's gonna, you know, flirt with this girl there. And he gets that big goofy trucker grin, you know, that one that's like, oh fuck, I'm so insecure right now. You ever seen that one? You see me do it all the fucking time. And he starts trying to like chat her up about what's going on this weekend. What are you doing? How, you know, what plans do you got? And she's being nice because that's her job. And she responds back to him whatever she's got going on, and she goes, how about you? And he's like, oh, you know, we've been having problems with our septic system at home, so I'm just gonna be working on that, you know, replacing pipes and all that stuff. Bro, there ain't a girl out there that is interested in your sewage, your sewer system at your house. Just call it quits. Just walk away. And all of us are fucking completely awkward shitheads, even when we think we're not. As an observer, you're like, holy shit, dude. Yeah, you're fumbling this one now, aren't you? And I'm just as weird too, because she was cute. She really was. So when she was talking to me, I was staring down at the counter the whole time because I'm my own certain kind of weird, and I wouldn't make eye contact with her because I'm a fucking weirdo also. So we're all very strange, and we develop this antisocial behavior from being in the fucking truck. That's where the fuck it comes from. And I wonder though if that ever gets better. I'm not really sure. if it ever does. I have sort of some personal demons I'm dealing with, my friends. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. I have like severe extreme anxiety. Look, I'm gonna cry on the internet about my problems, but like severe anxiety, and it's been really bad for like the last month or so. I wake up every morning, fucking panic, chest is tight, fucking losing my fucking mind about like fucking everything. And that has a lot to do with not so much trucking, but more so the YouTube channel. This shit drives me fucking crazy sometimes. And I fucking go into these anxiety attacks pretty fucking often, right? I wonder if ever that will go away, or if I have to live with that for the rest of my life. I'm not really sure if it will ever go away. It's just part of my life now. And that sort of goes back to the whole antisocial, we don't have social skills sort of thing. Yeah. Fuck, man. And that's how you end up with trucking is a very unique industry. You got a YouTube channel for everything, right? You've got your welders out there, your plumbers, your roofers, they're doing YouTube videos, and I'm sure they've all got their share of like shitty people, right? But a lot of people watch stuff like that because they're just interested in watching it. Trucking videos are widely viewed by other truckers because truckers, after they finish trucking, they want to go watch trucking videos. And I get it, it's the only people we can relate to. I'm not talking shit, please still watch my videos, right? But we produce, if there were to be a study on this, per capita, I bet we produce the highest number of keyboard warriors of any other profession. Because now you're sitting there in your truck all by yourself being a miserable fuck, right? Which we all do. I just do it. I yell at you guys. That's how my form of being a miserable fuck, right? Just being a miserable fuck, though. And then you start arguing with that other trucker because he didn't do the thing that you thought he would do. And then that other trucker's like, well, fuck you, because we got a lot of pride, right? You guys ever seen my comment section? It's a shit show, baby. I'll get down there and fucking argue with you assholes. I will. And I'll call you assholes in my video, because that's just how the fuck I roll, right? There was a guy that was a really good sport about it, because he was kind of getting on my fucking nerves, I'll be honest with you. I think Prime Driver, but every time I would make a point, he was a good sport, all right? So I'm not like busting his balls, but every time I would make a point, he would like move the goalpost on me, like as I was countering his points. Not that I was winning a debate. I don't claim to be a person winning a debate, but I was getting frustrated because all I was saying was that most of Prime drivers have very cult-like attitudes when it comes to Prime, and I've demonstrated that over the last 6-year period. Every time I kick out a Prime video, here they fucking come. But I could kick out a CR England video tomorrow, nobody's showing up. It's weird, right? And that's just one example. But I forgot where the fuck I was going with that. But he was a really good sport anyways. But we were kind of going back and forth at each other. And I told him that. I said, yeah, if you keep moving the fucking goalpost on me, then I guess my points don't make a lot of sense anymore, do they? You know? And he laughed. Thank you. Thank you for laughing at that, because sometimes I'm like, God damn it, what the fuck is going on? So I appreciate that guy being a really good sport about it, because a lot of times it just ends with hurt feelings on both sides. We both go be sad in our sleepers. But we produce, I bet we produce an extreme amount of keyboard warriors per capita over any other industry. I would love to see that study. I would pay for that study if I wasn't a broke bitch, I'll tell you that right now. But the other thing in trucking that kind of goes hand in hand with that is it creates a lot of delusional people in trucking. You can sit in your truck all by yourself and have all the fantasies about what a manly man you are all day, all by yourself, and then they run to the internet, and that's where you get the stuff, well, oh, I'm gonna kick your ass on Fuel Island. Let me tell you something. This is all fantasy, baby. This is all fantasy. This is not to say that the occasional Fuel Island fist fight doesn't happen. And every time it does, it's pretty fucking hilarious, right? Every time you see a video. Except there was a recent video where a guy pulled out a knife. He started the fight, and then he pulled out a knife. What a bitch move that was. If you're going to start the fight, like, if you're being attacked, right? You're just minding your business and somebody's attacking you and you pull out a knife and, you know, give them a few stabs. That's one thing, right? But you start the fight and then you pull out a knife. Oh boy, I don't know that you're in any position to be starting fights if you need to go down that road, but you know, that's just my personal opinion, right? But what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? That all just poured out of my mouth all at one time, didn't it? This is how you, like, you end up with very, very delusional and honestly a lot of times very insecure men. This is a breeding ground for insecure men out here in trucking. They're all worried about how manly they look at all times. I don't know. I'm 5'6" and 150 pounds. I'm like, nah. I mean, I don't know how manly I look. I'm never really concerned myself with it, if I'm being honest with you. It's not a thing that I dwell on. I'm just who I am, and that's all there is to it. I'm not worried about if other people are perceiving me as very masculine right now. I don't fucking care. I don't give a shit, all right? Which is probably some of the most masculine shit you could say, honestly. When you're really concerned about it, that kind of shows a little fragility now, doesn't it? If you're constantly concerned about how manly you look. But, it's just a breeding ground for like this very delusional, keyboard warrior-ish, insecure behavior. I had one guy, he fucking meth addict that fell in love with me. He got a huge crush on me for some reason, to the point that it enraged him. He was very angry that he couldn't have me, I guess. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure what happened. But he would always get mad. I don't know if he's still alive or not. I'm not really sure. But he would always get mad that I would make fun of Fuel Island fistfights. And he would like tag me in community posts saying, Fuel Island fistfights are real. And this guy's not even a trucker, which is the most bizarre part about it. He's not even a trucker, but he yells at me about Fuel Island fistfights are real. And the way he would always do that, he would always post the same video. And it wasn't even a Fuel Island fistfight. It was like a wrestling, like WWE, WWF, WCW, you know, wrestling, right? And there was a wrestling guy, I think that's what they're called, wrestling guys, pretty sure. And the wrestling reporter had the mic up asking him questions, and he didn't like the questions, so he slapped the shit out of the wrestling reporter, right? And he said, and that's the proof that Fuel Island fistfights are real. I don't get it. I'm not sure I'm following the fucking logic on this, but he would insist that that was the truth, completely oblivious to the fact that I'm not saying wrestling's fake, I'm saying scripted, and always has been scripted, right? It's an entertainment product. It's not, in no way is a wrestler slapping the shit out of as a reporter as a script the equivalent of Fuel Island fist fights. Are we following me? Or am I the crazy one? Sometimes I don't know, because we gaslight the fuck out of each other too. So it may be me that's fucking crazy, and I'm just making him sound crazy for the sake of making me look better. I don't fucking know. How would I know? I live in this truck by myself. What I say around here goes, man. It's the rule of the land. I rule over this empire right here inside this fucking truck. And you can't tell me otherwise, because this is my kingdom right here in the truck. And the last thing about that, when it comes to everyone wants to be a keyboard warrior and a Fuel Island fucking gladiator, right? I am in my early 40s, right? In fairly good shape considering what I do. Now, I'm not bragging. Listen, hear me out. In fairly good shape for the poor choices I make for myself. I don't take care of myself even a little bit. I'm surprised that I'm in this good a shape, right? I am in better shape than most truckers my age out here. That is not a threat. That is not me saying anything. What I'm saying is I'm starting to feel it, my friends. I'm starting to feel it. I'm not challenging anyone to a fight because I'm not in the mood to get my fucking ass kicked. I'll tell you that. Sometimes I'm getting in and out of the truck. I climb up the two steps and my knees are on fire. I'm like, fuck, I better not be challenging no one to a Fuel Island fist fight because I'm not gonna fucking make it. Or sometimes you gotta jump in the trailer, right? Like you're at a truck stop and there's a little bit of like the trailer's up to your fucking eyeballs, right? The back of the trailer, because there's like a decline or incline or whatever at the back of it. Yeah, climbing up in that bitch takes a minute these days. I remember being in my 30s and just jumping in and out of that bitch. Not now. Now it's a whole production. You see me hanging on for dear life trying to get out of the fucking thing, right? I am not gonna be out there Fuel Island fist fighting anyone. I'm not gonna run because I don't know how far or how fast I could run at this point. Like I said, I'm not even in bad shape. It's just we're getting older, fellas. Are we sure we really want to be throwing punches on Fuel Island? Hey, I'll leave that to those guys in their early 20s out here trucking. Y'all fight each other if that's what you want to do, but you ain't gonna see me in the middle of it. You ain't gonna see me in the middle of it. What I'm saying is, before you know it, time catches up to us, and we find out that we're probably not the Billy badasses that we thought we were, and we're probably not gonna kick anyone's ass on Fuel Island, and I guess that's all I'm saying. Those are all the ways that trucking destroys men. It makes us delusional, makes us antisocial. I mean, I felt like I covered more topics, but I don't fucking know. I was just here. Hope it was a good video. Bye now.